Astrobot Game of the Year. Let's go. I hope everyone, whoever is watching, is having a great Friday the 13th. It's actually a minute away from no longer being Friday the 13th. I'm just kind of hanging out. I want to stream. I like having moments of thinking about video games. Surprise. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to record it. Which I'm actually not recording it right this minute, but I will. It's streaming, though. The stream should work. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get things rolling, I think. I think everything should be working the way I would like it to. I'd hope to. Oh, I should probably move that. Yeah, that works. We're gonna listen to the Astrobot soundtrack in honor of the true Game of the Year, as dictated by the Game Awards. Because everything the Game Awards does is absolutely fact. Should never be objective to, of course. We're never allowed to have any discourse about the Game Awards. You know? Because we never want to offend Jeff Keighley. Never. Never, ever. Alright. Well. What should I start with? What should I, what should be, the very first thing I do? I want to turn down the music a little bit more. Yeah. Alright. So... Oh, actually, you know what? Let me hit record. Alright. So, I don't know how this is gonna work. And the streaming aspect of this is probably not gonna end well for me. But we'll see how it goes. I want to talk out loud. I like making a list. I like making lists. You know? It's that... I don't know what you would call it. But it's just something about making lists that's very satisfying to me. Maybe that's why I got into data. Because I like making lists. But... I want to assemble all of the games I am looking the most forward to in the next year or the years to come. I'm not necessarily gonna not include games that we may not see till 2026. Mainly because there's not a lot of games that I know for sure are coming in 2026. So yeah, figured this is the right time to I feel like we've just pushed past all of the major events for the year. The Game Awards really was the capping of this is the gaming news. This is what's going to be happening next year. This is what we should be hyped about. I feel like we're done now. I don't think barring something crazy happening in the next week, at a minimum, I would say, I think we're good. So I think I'm safe to assemble this list. So how is this going to work? I'm going to first create a calendar, essentially, and write down every game I should actually explain. So I have a system that I use, which makes it sound a lot more complex, and it's really just not. It's just me labeling things. I call it the HIP system here, where I'm going to indicate the games I am really excited about with H, which is hype. I'm going to indicate any games that I do have some interest in, not like, oh my god, I cannot wait to play this, but at least I'm like, oh okay, no, I might try this when it comes out. I don't know if I will, but I'm intrigued by it. I have it on my wish list or whatever, like, so that will be labeled with I. And then P stands for the public interest in this. So as someone who enjoys video games like on my own, I also I like following the gaming discussions. I like following gaming news. So I also am looking. I also look forward to games I know I'm not going to play, but games I know are going to be part of the conversation of what's going to win at like the big awards at the end of the year, or just in general, like what are the games that people are going to be talking about that like, oh, like holy shit, this is like a game changer, this is incredible. What is that going to be? And I guess I should just call this the hip star system, because I'm adding also an indication next to any game that is being developed by a studio that I love. Meaning I've played their games and I have enjoyed their last game, and they're coming out with this new game, and I'm like, oh okay, I want to make sure I actually indicate that on the calendar. So we're gonna do all this, and who knows how long that's gonna take. It's probably gonna take a while. And then once I do that, once I have a list, I'm gonna then use that list to assemble in my backlogged my most anticipated games list with this search area and everything. And it'll be the plan is to do 50. Will that work? Who knows? I mean, I would like to hope it would. And that we will be able to pull it all off. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think I've delayed enough and explained myself enough. Let's go ahead and dive into this. I actually hold on, I'm gonna switch screens for a second. I want to change the setup here for just a moment. So I'm gonna do, oops, okay, do this. Push that to that side, that to that side. Okay. This, I might have to adjust some things. No, that actually might work. That might work. Okay, cool. Alright. So, the first thing that we're going to go through is the 2025 Video Games Wikipedia page. This is not perfect. I'm sure that there are better ways to go about it, but I figure that the biggest games, the ones that people are really, really talking about, are going to be located on the Wikipedia page. And then I'm going to go through my personal wish list as well. And if there's anything that I forget, most likely it's not going to be a game that there's any sort of anticipation for. But I think that these pages are usually pretty good, because you have like the calendar, and then they actually have an unscheduled release list, and that contains like every fucking announced game of note. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah. So then, as you can see, I've labeled it where I have it's separated into quarters, and then I have, if there's an actual month release date, I would list it under that. And if it actually has its day as well, then we'll indicate that as well. It'll be listed underneath each of these sections. So and pretty much anything that's not listed under any quarters or anything is just like a blanket 2025 or even just a coming soon or whatever. It will be listed over here. So, all right, let's go. Let's do this. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on anything I don't recognize. I'm not gonna really talk about, or especially if I don't really have anything to say, per se. Let's start here. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So that is coming out on the 16th. And I would say I have an interest in it, so I'm putting an I. And I guess since technically Nintendo as a developer is one that I use a lot, I'll put a star next to it as well. So I don't know. I look at this, and for me, Donkey Kong Country is not a series that I have gotten into before. I played through the first game on the Nintendo Switch Online. I do want to play the second one because so many people say Diddy Kong's Quest is very good. And people say in terms of more recent games that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is very good. Country Returns came out before Tropical Freeze, and I think that was like the starting steps of the more modern Donkey Kong. And I'd rather just probably play Tropical Freeze. I did start to play it, and I just haven't gone back to it. But I think I might just, if I at all go back to a Donkey Kong game, it's going to be Tropical Freeze. I think that's going to be my priority. Like, I think I'm not even going to go all the way back to 2 yet. I would probably start with Tropical Freeze, personally. That being said, if I enjoy Tropical Freeze and I enjoy other Donkey Kong Country games, I can see myself picking it up. So there's interest. There's some interest. Okay, next up, let's write down Dynasty Warriors Origins. And this is an example of a game that I'm more just kind of watching from afar. I don't really care for Dynasty Warrior type games or any sort of action game. You're going to probably see a majority of like the main big time games are going to be listed under just P for the list, because I don't, a lot of them just don't really speak to me. But yeah, Dynasty Warriors is a classic franchise that's coming back, and I'm gonna be curious to see, like, oh yeah, is it working for people? Do people like it? All that jazz. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Okay. Nothing crazy stands out to me of this initial group here. All right, let's write down Citizen Sleeper 2. I think I'll keep it short. There's Citizen Sleeper 2. Get the point across. Yeah, that's another one that I know a lot of people love. It kind of reminds me of it's using like tabletop role playing mechanics, I believe. Like, you're rolling dice and then making like things happen based off of how you roll in the game, like how Disco Elysium kind of utilized it. But I don't know if it's like as like I don't quite know how that system works. It's, again, not really my thing, but it was a big time like indie darling during 2022 when the first one came out. 2022, 2021, I think 2022. So I think it just makes a lot of sense. that. I at least put it there as I'm intrigued by it for a public, big-time game point of view. Alright, next up. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Another P. Not really into these games. Apparently the guy who makes them is kind of a dick. So I probably am gonna stay as far away from them as possible. But just knowing the name and how it typically ends up in the news and stuff, like I could see, especially with the fact that people don't like the guy at the lead, and I could see that being like this year's like 2025's like Black Myth Wukong, where it's a very controversial situation with that studio, and then the Gamer Gators just fucking rally around them or whatever. So yeah, that's how I see it. Right to the Necrodancer. I'm gonna put an eye on this one. Actually, I did have this on my wish list for the longest time, and then I played the demo. And I was a bit disappointed only because I'm not much of a rhythm... well, that's a lie. I love rhythm games, but I have a very specific taste in rhythm games. What is this? Oh no. Oh, that is from Astrobot. Okay. I got confused because it wasn't Kenneth C.M. Young as the artist, so I got confused. That makes sense. All right. Anyways, no. So I'm like, when it comes to rhythm games, I'm more of a Rhythm Heaven fan, which is not like, when you think of rhythm games, you think of like Guitar Hero, where you have like the prompt coming across the screen and you need to time when like the prompt aligns with your button. I'm not into that kind of rhythm game. Rhythm Heaven's more of like, hey, listen to the sound cues or the visual cues, and you'll know when to press the button. And if you could do that, and you do it in sync with the song that's happening, it feels phenomenal. It's amazing. Like when you could really do that, it's great. Now, apparently there are elements of that in Breath of the Necrodancer, but the demo just had like the Guitar Hero type of gameplay and not like the Rhythm Heaven gameplay. So I don't know how that's going to be applied or how that necessarily works or how like so that's why I'm like I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. So but yeah, so but just I have like some interest in it if there's gonna be those little rhythm mini games that I typically enjoy. So yeah. Actually, so I just realized we are in February, and based off of my understanding, February is a wild month. In terms of game releases that we know of at this point. So we'll keep going now with Civilization 7. Gonna put a P for now. Obviously that's gonna be one of the biggest games of next year. I think there's a like turn-based strategy as a genre is not necessarily like huge, but Civ is massive, and like has a huge fan base, and I'm excited for them. It's not my bag, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it enough for them to get. Hopefully, Civ fans get what they want with this. Hopefully, it ends up being something really special. Yeah, like just it's exciting that this is as close as it is for people who are into it. So, okay, what's next? Okay, couple on the 14th. Starting with Assassin's Creed Shadows. P for that I would even go as far as those, like, if I could, like, bold this in terms of, like, well, I can, but, like, if I had to, like, be, like, major release, I would probably put, like, bold on this, on Assassin's Creed Shadows. And the reason why I would do that is not so much if the game, like, oh, I think the game's gonna be good. It's not so much that, it's the fact that I feel like so much is at stake with this game. Ubisoft is in turmoil right now. It's in a bad way, and I think they're putting a lot of eggs into this Assassin's Creed basket right now. They do have other games announced that they're working on, but like they purposely delayed this game out of 2024 in order to make sure they got it right. Because if they don't, considering all the other recent failures that Ubisoft has had, like with Star Wars, like with I hate to call Prince of Persia a failure, because it's really only a failure in financial reasons. The dev team kicked ass with that game. I only played a little bit of it, but like the amount of love put into that game is something that like most AAA games, and especially like on the Ubisoft side, like you feel like it's just not as existent. So I feel like it just, there's a vibe coming out of there, especially with like Tencent maybe wanting to take over Ubisoft since they have a stake in it, and the Guillemot family just having like figuring out what the fuck to do with that. Like it's just, it seems like a mess, and I just feel like this release, if it's not good or not successful, because ultimately it doesn't matter if it's good or not. If it's not financially successful, the company's in bad shape. Who knows what fucking happens from them. But I just think from an industry point of view, it's interesting. It's, I think, important release. Will I play the game? I have some interest in it. Assassin's Creed seems like a game that I could enjoy, because I like the idea of stealth games, but I feel like I don't know how much the more recent Assassin's Creed games really lead into stealthiness, and I just don't like, again, I don't really like action games, so if I could, like, if there's a way to play that game and just avoid action altogether, I'd be curious to explore it further. Another game coming out this month is Date Everything, which I am going to put more of an interest on. I know I haven't gone to any of the hype games, any of the things I'm actually excited for, actually for most of his pay, but I'm enjoying my time going through this. But Date Everything's a really fascinating subject, or fascinating game. This is a game that has you inside of a house, and you literally can date any of the furniture, or just anything that is in the house. But there's like humanoid versions of like every single one of your things, inside the house. And apparently, like, there's deep dialogue trees and stories with everyone. Like, it's not even just about like you're gonna kiss your chair or whatever. Like, apparently there's like deep story stuff going on for each one, which is fucking insane considering, like, I think there's a lot of fucking furniture in the game and probably a lot of different characters. Like, I think apparently this is like a huge cast. So I find this fascinating. I might end up, like, this might end up being a game that, like, I get super excited about. I'm just not much of a dating sim person. But I feel like something about this game gives me the idea that they're going to be really smart about it. Even though it's a ridiculous concept, but sometimes the most ridiculous concepts are being made by some of the smartest people, and because of that, I kind of want to trust them, and that, like, maybe they're going to guide me in a direction that, like, the story ends up being something really interesting or not. So I'm curious. I'm really curious about Date Everything. I think it's gonna be really, really fun. So as we move forward, re-releases, remasters. Alright. Avowed. I didn't even think about this yesterday during the Game Awards. They have Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 releasing in the same fucking year. How is that gonna work? like to me that just seems like such a wild thing to do. But I guess if you're releasing it Avowed now, and then in November you're releasing Outer Worlds 2, and I guess you're just leaving enough time for people to have done everything in Avowed. But I don't know. I'm just really curious about it, and I find it like just very I don't know. I just find it very fascinating that they made that choice. But this game itself, like, it's gonna be Obsidian's attempt at making a Skyrim-like fantasy world. And I think over time, the first impressions of the game in terms of its trailers, people haven't really loved the way it looked, and I think in more recent previews, people have kind of turned around on it, where people are enjoying it. Obsidian is an amazing developer. I played the only game I've played through in its entirety is Pentiment, but even just from bits and pieces I've taken from some of their other games. I mean, just like Fallout New Vegas, for example, like how that's such a massive game that so many people love. Like, it's a studio that you can kind of trust. Not that they can't fuck it up, but they're very good at having like a lot of different ideas and doing good things with them. So yeah, I think there's a reason for that. So this next one's the same day. Lost Records, Bloomin' Range, which whenever I hear the name, I think of the Bloomin' Onion from the Outback, because I'm a fat ass. Said lovingly to myself. I love my shape. Anyways, so this is from Don't Nod. So Don't Nod is the ones who made the Life is Strange games, and then have gone on to make a litany of different types of games. The most recent thing I played from them was Jusant, which was released not this year, but last year. And I only got a bit into it, but I enjoyed what I played. But they're just a fascinating developer. And it's interesting because they are no longer developing the Life is Strange series, so this is like almost their attempt to go back to that. Like, it is like young, like a young cast revolving around a mystery, and just dialogue choices and like whatever it may be, and they're actually releasing it in like an episodic thing. Like, the first tape is on February 18th, and I think another tape is gonna come out a couple weeks later, or whatever the length is. So they're going back to that well, and we'll see if it works out for them. Again, I've not hit the hype for anything yet. But maybe that changes. Which I kind of figured. I figured Wikipedia is gonna be not a lot, but once we get to the wish list, then we got some bangers that I hope to trust. Let's add Like a Dragon. Ryoga Gotoku, or RGG, I guess. RGG Studios, the easy way to pronounce that. They just fucking know how to keep making games. they make so many games, but it's fun. I mean, I feel like Yakuza is a very fun world. Man, I do want to get into it because I feel like it's my type of game in terms of how silly and ridiculous it is. But I'm just not a turn-based combat guy, or I'm just not a combat guy in general. I feel like turn-based I probably could stand a little bit more than like flat out just regular action. I don't know. It's just I think that this particular game, the Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, I think is going to be. It actually says action adventure, so that it might just straight up be just normal combat, not even any RPG elements. I'm sure there's going to be, but just because given the roots of the series, but yeah, just curious. I'm excited to hear from the Yakuza sickos to see if that ends up being good. What the hell is this name? Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in dungeon? What the fuck? Why is that a name for a video game? Alright, cool, we move forward. Oh, here's a big one. Monster Hunter Wilds. And I gotta say, this is gonna surprise me considering everything I've been keep saying about action stuff. But I'm very curious about Monster Hunter Wilds. My brother-in-law is like super into Monster Hunter. It's like one of his favorite series, and it's a lot of people's favorite series. And there's something about it that does seem appealing to me. The idea of like taking on a big monster and then like kind of strategically figuring out how to defeat it. It reminds me, it's much more action oriented, but like I enjoy Shadow of the Colossus. That Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favorite games. And the idea like that you would just go to the monster and then just figure out a way to defeat it. That usually focused on more puzzle platforming. This is more action RPG. It's an RPG. Yeah, so it's action RPG elements. So again, not my genre, but listen, maybe. I'm not gonna rule it out. I'm not gonna rule out the possibility that I try my first Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Wilds. Just because it feels like this is like, of anything that has been slated and dated thus far in 2025, I feel like this is the most hyped game. This is the game that people are the most excited about. So maybe I break out of my shell and just try that. Not ruling it out. Not ruling it out. All right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that I'm particularly looking forward to. I do want to open up my Spotify real quick just to make sure how much more. Oh, we got plenty. We have so many songs queued for Astrobot. Okay. All right. So that's February. Let's go to March. And I already see a couple games that I think we're finally gonna hit those hype levels. Not with this one though, but I'm gonna write it down anyway. Oh, wait a second. Is this? No, this is new. 2 Point Museum. I'm intrigued by 2 Point Museum. The 2 Point series has never been something I've been able to get into. I grew up playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. That's pretty much my history with management simulation games. I enjoy Planet Coaster fine, but it's not my go-to. Like it's just I think I've grown out of it outside of like, oh, I like going back to Roller Coaster Tycoon, like they have the classic versions on Steam and stuff like that. The idea of making your own museum though is so fascinating. And I feel like that could be really, really fun. I can't say I'm, like, hyped about it. But I'm curious about it. I actually want to, let's see. I cannot believe Astrobot won Game of the Year, man. I'm so happy. I know it's Sony. I recognize that, like, they have... like the leverage like, and they've won so many times before. But it just feels different because it's a small studio and it's a 3D platformer, and it's a 3D platformer that's just fucking injected with so much endless joy, which is so unlike, like, I don't know, Last of Us, which is just fucking depressing as hell constantly. Again, different strokes for different folks. Like, I'm not shitting on Last of Us, although fuck Neil Druckmann and his Zionist fucking bullshit. But I don't know, man. I just think about I really appreciate that Astrobot got the love I think it deserves, and I'm hoping that it just means that Sony will keep them safe and they'll keep on making Astrobot games. Will those games still be good? Who knows? But sorry, I'm just responding to something. It's midnight for me, but I got people around. Yeah. Sorry. Just in the middle of a exchange. Just enjoy the Astrobot music. By the way, side note, I'm bummed that they didn't use the crash site music from Astrobot in the uh, sorry. I was bummed that they didn't use Crash Site as their in the orchestra, the Goaty orchestra. They just used the Astrobot theme, which is a banger. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, man, there's so many better songs on the soundtrack, and I was really hoping. But holy shit, Bellatro's when Bellatro hit on the orchestra, man, holy crap, I got chills. And that was like the best transition that orchestra has had for a game in quite a few years. It feels like every single time it's great. Like the Goaty orchestra is always good, but that like and the end of the Elden Ring Erdtree thing going right into Bellatro. Oh my god, Bellatro, and it hits that high note right out of the gate. Oh my god, it's so good. I actually think I care more about the orchestra more than any other aspect of the award show, just because like the orchestra is like the least controversial aspect of it. Like the orchestra just fucking rules. It does its thing. It's full of amazing artists. The flute guy rules. Like it's just so good. Anyway, so I'm gonna put Two Point Museum as an interest because I do want to I do hope that that's gonna be good. I just don't. 2 Point has never clicked for me in other variations. But I think Museum is going to be a fun thing to explore. Okay. Oh my god, they have the sad song playing. Okay, here we go. Split Fiction. H, baby. Big time. Holy crap. That trailer yesterday was incredible. If you don't know what this is the next game from Hazelight Studios, Joseph Fares. They are the makers of A Way Out and It Takes Two. It Takes Two is one of my favorite video game experiences of all time. I fucking adore that game. I know the story kind of sucks. I know the elephant scene sucks. If people have played that, I know what I'm talking about. It's not perfect, but just from a pure gameplay point of view, it fucking rules. I had such a blast the first time, and this looks like it's just expanding on that. Someone was mentioning it earlier. I do kind of wish they just called it It Takes Two, the sequel, or they just linked it to that name again, because I don't know. It very much looks like a sequel to It Takes Two, even though the premise is different. It's two writers who end up getting sucked into their own stories essentially, and one's a fantasy author, one's a sci-fi author. But like that's I feel like since it's still two players, you could just do It Takes Two. Like it's fine. Like you could just make it like I don't know if anthology series is necessarily the right term, but like just you don't have to have it where it's one continuous story. You could have it be that it's just It Takes Two is this franchise and it's a bunch of different stories between different games. Because Split Fiction is like cute, but it's not like, to me it doesn't really speak to I think the tone that the game is going for necessarily. It's fiction and you have a split screen, but it feels, I don't know, it just feels very, so I guess it does convey what it is, but I don't know, I just think about the name that doesn't quite, initially the name was like, oh that's neat, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, it could be better. That's my only complaint. Like otherwise, it looks fucking incredible. I cannot wait for it. I should star this too because this is from a studio I do like a lot. Because I enjoyed the bit that I've played of A Way Out. I never finished A Way Out. I do want to someday. Anthony, my brother-in-law and I, we've been that's the Hazelight games have been our thing to do, is power through those. So yeah. All right, we're going 2 hype in a row. Cannot wait for Wanderstop. I'm so excited for Wanderstop. I think that it's going to be something really, really special. The fact that it is Davey Warden who wrote the Stanley Parable, The Beginner's Guide, and I forget her name, but it's someone who was involved in the development of Gone Home. But Davey Warden has really been like the main face of the game, and I listen, like a shop management type game is not necessarily my jam typically. Hi Kelsey. I'm through March in talking about games that are coming out next year. But no, so Davey Warden's been such an incredible developer. Like Stanley Parable is just again, I put it up there among my favorite like video games of all time. I love it so much, and the fact that he went from doing a walking sim to I mean, so he mainly has developed walking sims. Like Stanley Parable's a walking sim, and then he did Beginner's Guide, which was a walking sim. but very different in tone. Like Stanley Parable leaned into the comedic stuff. Beginner's Guide was heavy, and I initially did not like Beginner's Guide because of how heavy it was. In terms of like, because it had like its comedic moments, but it was a game that dealt with how you handle friendships, and I'm trying to remember even what the main like core story of it was, but it was fantastic. Like looking back at it, he kind of told he told a much more intense story in that, and it like typically for me, I'm someone that likes my games to lean on the comedic side, but then like pack a punch. It's harder for me to play games that are a lot more like, no, this is going to be like intense and dramatic and like you're gonna have to sit through some really uncomfortable stuff. But I have an appreciation for his storytelling. I think just generally he has done very silly things with his stories, and he's done very serious things with his stories, and I trust him with what he's doing with Wanderstop, which is a tea shop life sim type game, but you are someone who, if I'm understanding correctly, you are someone that had been through some sort of war, some sort of battling adversity, and like physically battling things, and you are now trying to live a new life, but you can't quite get that old part of you out. Like it's like you don't feel 100% safe, even if you actually are, that you actually are safe. You can't relax because you have spent your whole life fighting. But and now that you're here, you're struggling to kind of get, and like it's that with the fact that it is gorgeous color wise. At least I like. It took me a bit to warm up to how it looks, but I ended up. I think I'm at the point where I'm like, no, I kind of dig what they're going for, and I just cannot wait. It's gonna be really something special. So that's gonna be an amazing game. And that's coming out within a 5-day stretch of Split Fiction. Which, granted, luckily with Split Fiction's, like, I will not start it until, like, a co-op partner for me is available. And so then I don't have to play it on launch day. But Wanderstop, since it's single player, I can boot up at any time. So I don't have to, I don't think they will actually interfere with each other. Fun seeing this on the Wikipedia page. Would not have expected it, but Bionic Bay. This was at Day of the Devs. It was a 2D platformer that kind of reminded me of a 2D puzzle platformer with like slowing down time mechanics. Which weirdly there was 2 of those in Day of the Devs. But yeah, like so Bionic Bay was like a much darker one in terms of style, much more sci-fi, I think. And yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I like Inside a decent amount. I think that a lot of people would call it like one of the best indie games ever made, and I don't disagree with them necessarily, but it's not. It's not my favorite either. Like it's good. It's a very good game. I understand why people enjoy it. I think there's just aspects of it that I found a bit more frustrating overall. But that's just me. But I don't know. Bionic Bay, I'm curious about. So we'll put it at a level of interest at least. Alright, let's keep going. I'm gonna skip the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition because I think it really is just re-released, and I know Donkey Kong Country Returns. I did a more in-depth thing, but I don't know. I don't think I personally am gonna dig into it. I don't think I need to talk about it more. Okay, yeah. Let's put on here. And again, just to explain what I'm doing, I'm listing any game that I think will have either I have a personal interest in it, or I think the public is going to be interested in it. Tales of the Shire is, I think, a game that it's going to come out and it's gonna not perform as well as people would hope. I think it's because the previews of that game have not been glowing. And it doesn't quite look good either, in my opinion. But hey, maybe it is going to be good for people. Who knows? But just initially, I just don't have a lot of faith. But I do think that people are talking about it. It's and just because it's a big IP, I think people are going to be interested in it and hopeful that it does end up being good. Adamfall. I'm putting this under P. I actually have to remind myself what this is, because I feel like I've seen trailers for it. Set in an alternate history 1960s where the Windscale nuclear disaster turned most of the northern England into a radioactive quarantine zone. It's an action survival game. Yeah, I just feel like it's a game I've heard, I've seen a lot, and so I'm just gonna put it on the list. It's just be like, okay, keep it on my radar. The first Berserker Kazan was weirdly introduced by it's like a writing duo that people like from TV. I'm gonna forget Russo's. I don't know. So I don't know. That it was announced during the Game Awards, so I'll just put it on the list and be like, all right, people are gonna be interested in that. In terms of TBD for March, we have Killing Floor 3. And this is a very exciting release for some people. Because Killing Floor is just a fun, like, wave-based murdering shooter. There's a lot of murdery shooters. I don't know. I don't know why I had to specify that. But yeah, so I'm curious about it. I know a few people who like the game a lot, so hopefully it ends up being good for them. All right, what else here? I'm gonna skip The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered because I don't really care. Okay. We're gonna skip down to April here. Korra? I want to say this is pronunciation. This was a neat little game. I actually have it on my wish list, I think. It's like you play as like a little shadow person with a little shadow dog, and it looks cute. Save a puppy and embark on a heartwarming, hand-drawn adventure together. Journey to the heart of an enchanted forest, solving puzzles and avoiding hunters to protect your newfound friends. Also, a Don't Nod Joy, although it's being published by them, I think the developer is different. Yeah, from what I played of it, I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. And so I put it on the wish list. Will it be something that I am, like, for sure, like, okay, yes, I need to play this day one? I don't think so, so I think it's going to be interest for me, but, I don't know, I'm curious. Curious how it goes. Alright, let's see, what else we got here? Heard of Tempest Rising. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily follow that for sure. Fantasy Life. I'll include this as like, I know people are curious about the return of Fantasy Life. and the concept to me sounded interesting enough. And then it got delayed out of 2024. I might do P for this. Sonic Wings Reunion. Very interesting. Oh, Revenge of the Savage Planet. That's a exciting indie for people. Throw that on there. Sequel to the Journey of the Savage Planet. They actually gave a date that far out for Double Dragon Revive. Alright, cool. Alright, now we're getting into the shit. We're just gonna basically be writing these down. 2XKO, which is the big Riot fighting game. 333 Immortals, which is from the developer of Spiritfarer. I guess I should be labeling these two. A lot of these are still going to be just like, oh, I know people are going to be interested in this, so I'll label it as such. Let's see. Oh yeah, the altars. Yeah, people were looking forward to that one as well. Okay, let's see what else. Arc Raiders. Yeah, that's so funny. That game got announced like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think I'm gonna write it down, but interesting that has not come out yet. Beastie Ball. Okay, that's actually an interesting one. I don't know if I'm gonna write down Beastie Ball because it did come out in early access this year. I played through the story. I really loved the game. I love Wishes Unlimited. Chicory is one of my favorite games of all time. Water Song is one of my favorite games of all time. Beastie Ball was fantastic from what I played of it. Definitely not my fave. Not like I don't know if I love it as much as the first two games, but I'm just not again same song for everything I've been talking about. Like just not the combat person. But I actually played almost the entirety of the campaign with auto battle on, and that ruled. That was nice. And every single time I would level up, and it would save my progress in leveling up, so that I did not have to stay in one place for so long. It was really nice. So no wonder I probably didn't like it as much as I didn't really play it. But I really love it, and I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for its full release. But the fact that the full campaign was available in early access makes me feel like I don't know how much I'm gonna focus on it. But you know what? I'll throw it on here. With a hype designation, I guess, just because it is a game that I like and I love the studios a lot. And hopefully, I'm hoping that when it comes out, it has a big moment. I don't know if it will, but here's hoping. Okay, here's a big one. Big Walk, from the same developers of Untitled Goose Game. This was in the Game Awards last year, revealed, and I fell in love at first sight with this game. It's just a bunch of silly little guys running around, and I think that's my favorite genre of video game. is silly little guys like just flailing. That's like I fucking love that so much. And it's a multiplayer game, so we all can just vibe and do stupid shit in it. And like I don't even know if there's progression or anything. I don't give a shit. It like I'm putting my faith in House because I really love Untitled Goose Game, another one of my favorite games ever. And yeah, I'm excited. Borderlands 4. I feel like it was a very lukewarm reception to that trailer based off of the media reaction, at least. But the people who are fans of Borderlands are super excited about it, so I'm happy for them. Randy Pitchford, I could care less for. But Borderlands, I am happy for those who are excited for that. Forgot about Bounty Star. That's an interesting one. I think that's good. That's gonna be an interesting Annapurna game. Annapurna really went through it this year, considering that its entire staff left, and then they had to restart. I think it was something along those lines. It was wild. It was a very bizarre story. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that continues to play out. Makes me wonder if I'd even want to keep on getting games from Annapurna, but there's a couple that they're making right now that I'm like, oh boy, I still want to play it, but I'll keep an eye out. Okay. What's Cairn? Oh, that's the climbing game. Okay, I don't as much care about that. Let's see. Yeah, this is the summit climbing game. Oh, I'll put it on the list. Like it's been shown enough, and people would be potentially interested enough. There's a Carmen Sandiego game. When? Coming from Gameloft. Don't know if I trust Gameloft. I think they make like an absurd amount of games. Just curious if there's any talk about it on this page. I guess not. Huh. I don't want to do too much navigation on camera. But I'll take a quick dig to see. Oh yeah, look at that. It's Q1 2025. The Scarlet Super Thief Carmen Sandiego is back. Adorn Carmen's signature red hat and play as the vigilante herself to navigate a world of espionage, utilize high-tech gadgets, and ultimately capturing Vile. Hmm. So here's the issue for me. Right, they're Disney Dreamlight Valley. That's how I know them. Here's the issue for me. There is one Carmen Sandiego game that I played growing up, and I don't know if Kelsey's still around in the chat. If you're still watching but don't want to open chat, it's fine. But me and her grew up playing I'm always getting confused if it was Where in the World or Where in the USA. I think it was Where in the USA. It was Carmen Sandiego. But it was very different. It wasn't. You weren't playing Carmen Sandiego. You were working basically for the feds against Carmen Sandiego, and you had to travel to location to location and interview people about which location you have to go to next. And then once you arrive at like the final location, you have throughout the whole journey you're trying to pick up certain clues that people would give you about what the secret operative of Carmen Sandiego, what they would look like, and then you would use that information, and once you arrive at your final location, to then identify the criminal. My brain's flatlining. But yeah. Anyways, it was really I enjoyed it. Not so much being the Fed, but just it was a puzzle game because you're trying to pull information from people about what the person looks like, and then where they went to, and then if you land in the right location, you'd have more people to interview. We played around the world and around the USA. Yeah, okay, I do remember that. Yeah, I forget which one is the one I'm describing, but unless they both work this way. But yeah, and then you would arrive at the final location, and then if you had successfully figured out like what the person looked like, you'll be able to easily identify them and jail them. And like it was neat. It was just like a fun little like it was kind of like logic puzzle. It reminds me a lot of like Oberdin, like Return of the Oberdin. I feel like kind of has like a similar gameplay loop to that. Like it's logic puzzle kind of. Like you take the information and yet you just kind of put it together and then like, okay, here's our solution. And it was neat. It was a cool time. So I don't think this is that. I think this is actually maybe more like third person behind the camera action game based off of what I'm seeing online. I don't think I'm going to write it down at all. But it's interesting. So there's that. Alright. Cataclysmo. Interesting. Actually, Cal, since you're the only one in the chat right now, I'm going to see if I can stop the slow mode. Because I'm pretty sure you're probably running into that issue. Unless I can't change that now. I may not be able to change the speed. From here, anyway. So I apologize if that at all gets annoying where you can't respond for 20 seconds. I apologize. So yeah, around the end, the USA is the one. Might not want to. Okay, cool. Yeah, no. I really love. I don't know. It's like because I feel like every other Carmen Sandiego we've played, or at least that I've heard of, does not have a similar gameplay. Or either you are Carmen Sandiego. It's weird that so much of the franchise is you playing as Carmen Sandiego, but then there's sometimes where you're working against Carmen Sandiego. I don't know. It's a weird dynamic. Anthony said that you should be banned. I mean, I don't know why that would be the case. You haven't broken TOS. At least my terms of service. Which is just don't be a dick, you know? You're good. Anyways, let's see. What else we got here? Yes. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I can't wait for those reviews to be made again. It's so funny when you look at like Death Stranding and just how divisive it was. Not in terms of like controversy, but like just like you either love that game or you fucking hate that game. And I feel like it's gonna happen again. Unless it's another masterpiece, maybe and people because Kojima has had that in the past, and so maybe that it happens again. Who knows? It's because I said the thing about Hunter. Well, you didn't say it in chat, so I can't move forward with any penalty here. So sorry. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Anthony is a big fan of Deep Rock Galactic, and the fact that they're making a Vampire Survivor like sounds neat. So yeah, cool. Oh, let's go. Deltarune, baby. Chapters 3 and 4 are coming next year. At least that's what Toby Fox said is the aim. Which is so fucking exciting. I cannot wait. It is like the only active like series on my YouTube channel that I will keep filming myself playing because I just love the series so much, and I love reacting to the stupid bits that he does, and the stories are just so fucking cool, and I just love how God, I just love Deltarune. I love spending time in that world, and I've only played 2 chapters. We all have only played 2 chapters. It's wild. Oh, Kels, you did say something about Hunter. But for some reason, it didn't pop up into my chat. That's really funny. Now it makes sense. You said Around the USA is the one where you team up with Hunter Biden to deport migrants using his drug connection. Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna leave that there. All right. Anyways, yeah, no. So I'm super pumped for Deltarune. That is, I think, my most anticipated game for next year. That is, I think, that tops the list of like, holy shit, we're getting more Toby Fox. Like, I cannot wait. So, that's that. Demon Tides. Very intrigued by it. I didn't play the first game, Demon Turf. I have it in my Steam library. I've always meant to come back to it. I know the indie community really digs, like, Demon Turf's kind of in a similar conversation of like A Hat in Time in terms of like how much people enjoy those games. And I'm a huge A Hat in Time lover. I really did dig it, and I played Demon Turf's demo and I enjoyed my time with it. So I do want to go back to it. And this looks like a big step up for them. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for to see what they do. But I'm not like at a hype level for it because I do want to play Demon Turf. Like, once that release date comes out for Demon Tides, I want to go back, play Demon Turf, and then get Demon Tides if I end up liking Turf a lot. So, not Turfs, not TERFs. Fuck them. Turf, TURF. All right. Desperate. This is a game that I've been seeing a lot. In showcases. It's from Panic, and Panic is just a great publisher. Really enjoy them. But this is the game where you are a... I'm gonna fuck up what country they're in. I think it's Mexico, but I could be wrong. No, Ecuador. See, that's... There you go. Accidental racism for me. I officially canceled. Yeah, so it's a slice of life adventure about childhood and the magical grip soccer held over the people of Quito, Ecuador in 2001. I really, really love the idea of this game where you're just running around with the soccer ball and just like experiencing the life of this kid growing up there, and soccer just being like the central mechanic. I just think is really, really neat. I think the art style it probably is a turnoff for people. I kind of love it. I love how like it has just this really grainy world with just the hand-drawn characters, and I'm just like I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm really high. This is a hype for me. I'm very excited to see what this game ends up being. Dino Punk the K-Cups Adventure. What is that? Oh, the 2D platformer. Okay. Alright, moving forward. Doom the Dark Ages. You could probably not pay me to, or you probably can't pay me to play Doom in any variety, because that shit's gory as fuck. But I love this concept that they're leading into more medieval, like it's medieval mixed with the Doom gameplay. I think that's really really cool, and I think that it's that like I think it's gonna be big. I think people are gonna really really fuck with it and really enjoy it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for people to really enjoy it. Oh fuck yeah! Here we go. Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping. This was it's funny. So the first game was only like 7 months ago, and it's essentially like a Case of the Golden Idol, like, but for kids. I would that is how I would describe it. I gotta say, I think I'm maybe one of the few people who played it and didn't really love it. I think this just some of the solutions just felt odd, and I didn't know like how I was supposed to come to them, and I did my due diligence of like finding every little bits and clues and reading things and things like that, and like I was deeply confused, and I felt like the ending was just very weird as well. Like in terms of like, I don't want to spoil it. It's a short game. It's a nice game, and I do think people should play it because I think they did a good job overall. But the ending is weird to me. But that being said, I love the concept so much that I would love to give them another shot, and the fact that they're coming out with one so soon is really exciting. Plus, one of my favorite people, Brian David Gilbert, is the voice of, like, I think what's gonna end up being the Duck Detective sidekick in this game. And that's fucking rad. And so, I'm excited for this game. I don't think it's at a level of, like, holy shit, like, I can't wait, but yeah, I don't know. This is the Horizon. This is the Astrobot music in the Horizon level. Pretty neat. All right. Let's move forward here with. Oh, I did skip over. I'll write it down just because it is a unique thing. Is Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2E remake. Should be, people will like that. Dune Awakening. I know that there's some people who have previewed that and are excited for that. Dying Light, The Beast. We got more of a look at. That's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. Oh, man, this sucks so good. Alright, Earthblade. I'm a huge fan of Celeste. Celeste rules. And so this is the same team making Earthblade. I will say I am only putting an eye on this one because I can't say I'm interested in the action elements of this game. At least I believe that there's action elements of this game. And because of that, like, because it's just not like a straight platformer like Celeste was, that's poor phrasing because Celeste is very gay, but I meant more so like it's Celeste was just a platformer, and it was a very good platformer, and I enjoy the fact that it is like it is the best feeling 2D platformer I've ever experienced, like just hands down, just the best. And the fact that they're now trying to add this action element to it is awesome. I'm sure they're going to do a great job, but it's, for me, a little bit more of a turnoff. But, that being said, I am not going to... I think it's definitely going to be a game that I end up trying, just because I really do have faith in Extremely OK Games. I think they just have a banger team, and I think they will make a banger, ultimately. Alright, moving forward. Ah, yes. Elden Ring Night Rain. This was a wild ass reveal, because I swear when the trailer first started and how I saw like the landscape and everything, I was just like, this is Elden Ring. Are they actually making Elden Ring 2? Is this already here, that they're already making the sequel to Elden Ring? And it's not quite that. It's apparently a multiplayer game, and it seems like it's like a roguelike, kind of. And like, I could see how that would be really fun and appealing to people. So once again, From Software is just doing the damn thing and doing very, very good things. Souls games is another genre that you would usually have to try to pay me. But if you put a crab as the protagonist, then you got me. Or, well, actually, you make the crab of the protagonist, and then you give him a gun that you can use to avoid playing any of like the Souls-like elements of the game. Then I will play your game. Shout out to another crab treasure. Enshrouded. Yeah, okay, that is like a survival game that I think people have dug. So I'll throw that on there. Everhood 2. I would say I'm pretty hyped for Everhood 2. I liked the first game a good amount. Reminded me a lot of Undertale, in terms of its silliness, but it was like a rhythm-focused battle system. And that one does kind of have the Guitar Hero type rhythm thing going that I was talking about earlier. But there's something about it that I really enjoyed. It was just a really fun time to go through. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see where it goes. So, Fable. We'll see if that comes out this year, because I think, did they even have a trailer for it this year? At the Xbox showcase or anything? Because I feel like it's been kind of quiet on that front. So, we'll see. I am definitely gonna skip Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. Frostpunk 2 is already out. Okay, Ghost of Yotai. Super cool opportunity for Erika Ishii to be the voice of the protagonist. Really happy for them. Yeah, Ghost of Yotai. I can't imagine that game not being good. I think that if it really felt like Ghost of Tsushima was overshadowed by The Last of Us coming out the same year, and how close they were in release time. Like, I think it was like Last of Us Part 2 came out in June that year, and then Ghost of Tsushima was July. And it was just like, it really did not allow, like, it's weird to say that Last of Us overshadowed it, because it did come out before Ghosts, and so technically you would think like the one that comes out after would overshadow it, but I don't know. So it was just a really large Sony year in general. So yeah, so I'm hoping it could like stand out on its own. Again, I just think that Sucker Punch has generally done a very good job of being very respectful of like the culture that's there, and I think that I think, at least as far as I know, maybe there is something that I don't know about, but it seems like a series that is beloved, a game that was very beloved, and I think that they're probably going to do a very good job with the sequel. So, and it's not even a sequel; it's almost like it's in the same franchise, but it's like decades, centuries later, or earlier. I think later. So like Jin Sakai is not even probably alive. So, fucking Glover is coming fast and strong. Oh yeah, so Golf with Your Friends is getting a sequel. So that's neat. I will say though, I'm not a big fan of Team 17, and they've done some really weird monetization stuff with the game, with the original game, with how they release DLCs and stuff. So we'll see how this ends up turning out. I'm curious about it. I should say I'll put an interest over it. Like I kind of would be very curious to see how they go about it. All right, here we go. Grand Theft Auto 6. So take everything I just said about like how much I don't like action and things like that out the window. Throw it out the window. Because for some fucking reason, I adore GTA 5. GTA 5 rules. I had so much fun playing it back when it was like, man, it was like in the last few years of high school when that game came out. Holy crap. And considering, like, who knows how long they're gonna fucking delay this game. If this game doesn't come out this year, like, I might be 30. Like, I played GTA 5 when I was 16. And there's a chance that I may not play Grand Theft Auto 6 until I'm 30. That's insane. That's so wild to think. I really love GTA 5. I don't think that there's things that age well in the game. It's edgy. GTA is always edgy. But I do like that it's a satire of the world and how fucked up it is. And boy howdy. You compare 2013 to where we are at now in 2024, and woof. And when the game does come out in 2026, who fucking knows what kind of society we're going to be in at that point. I'm so excited for this game. I am not. I pride myself in being a hipster and just playing indie games, but the two things that stop me from being full hipster is Nintendo, and then I think GTA. And there's other stuff, but like that's just the two things that come to mind right now. And I'm so excited to explore Miami, the version of Miami, which is obviously Vice City. And I don't know, man. I'm just like, my favorite thing about GTA is not any of the violence, any of the fucking like the heists are fun, but like my favorite thing in the game is just driving around the map and just fucking around that map. And I cannot wait to just do stupid shit in the map. I love it so much. It's like, I'm such a sucker for it. Like I literally spent so many hours in GTA 5 just exploring and just finding random shit, and finding random quests, or finding just like Easter eggs or whatever. Like, it just was so much fun, and I cannot wait for that in the 6th entry. Who knows if it's gonna be good, but I would imagine that it's going to be. Rockstar kind of has like the Naughty Dog and like other studio bump. Like, there's so many like I don't know. There's so many games that are like open world games, right? That come out every year, and there's just something about a normal. That is, I mean, it's not normal, but like a modern setting where you could just run around and there's no like there is combat in the game, but it's like you don't run into enemy encounters in GTA. Like there's sometimes like random events that might have that happen, or like maybe certain areas of the town that might happen, but it's mostly just a sandbox. The game is a fucking sandbox, and it's such a good one at that. I cannot wait. But they have like the pedigree of like those like top tier studios that like people don't think that you could put out a bust. Would I be shocked if that happened though? No, because AAA development is a fucking mess. But man, cannot wait. Just I hope it's this year. I hope it's 2025. I hope we get it, that we get it during this era. Like I would be so excited. Greedfall 2. I know that's an interesting game. I know some people are enjoy that series or enjoyed the first game, so we'll see how that ends up happening. Hey, Hyper Light Breaker. That's coming to early access early in the year. Exciting indie. I want to start moving a little bit quicker, so I'm gonna try to not. I'm gonna throw Kingmakers on the list. Because of how silly it is from the concept. Little Nightmares 3. I wonder if I should play those games. Because I know they're horror games, but they're like puzzle platformers, and I kind of like those, and I don't know really how scary it is, so. Oh, let's go. God of War. Hell yeah, man. Mafia is gonna go just big one that's coming out. Mainframes. Interesting that it's listed as Q1 down here. It does have a release date. Right here. It's the same day as Split Fiction. Which, speaking of, it's also a game that I'm extremely excited about. I cannot wait for Mainframes. It is a adorable looking 2D platformer that you are a like disk drive icon and you're moving across windows. And I played the demo and it was fantastic. So I can't wait for it. It's gonna be good. Oh yes, Marvel 1943. That was shown a while ago, and we haven't heard shit from that. Boy. Who knows? Boy. It's so stupid. Alright, sorry. I can't believe during the God of War parody, I fucking said boy. Alright, anyways. Metal Gear Solid Delta. Snake Eater. And Metroid Prime 4. Beyond. And Eugenics. That game still's not out. Jesus Christ. From the same people who made Binding of Isaac and all that. Yeah. None of which all this falls under P. Monaco 2. I know Monaco 1. Oh, Mixtape. I almost skipped over Mixtape. That's a game I actually do have, like, it's close to being a game I'm hyped about. It is like coming of age story type thing, where like it's from the same developer as The Artful Escape, and I didn't like Artful Escape, admittedly, but the concept just sounds really fun and interesting to me, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm curious about it, so I'm hoping it's good. Moonlighter 2, that's another indie that people, I'm sure, are going to be pumped about. Mouse PI for Hire. That art style, they have like an old school, like, Mickey Mouse cartoon art style with a shooter. I actually have it on my wish list, weirdly, because I'm just like, seems neat, I want to try it. So put it in that mix. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I think that's the game that we saw during the Game Awards, so that's interesting. I like it's fucking this, just the way that Nubs is on the screen here. It reminds me of Jeb. Jeb, the Jeb Bush logo for his campaign. Nubs. Very good. Outer Worlds 2, as we talked about earlier. Wild, that's coming out around the same time as, or in the same year as Avowed, is pretty insane. Okay, here's a good one. Pokemon Legends ZA. The first ever Pokemon game I have ever beat that... I guess you would call this a spin-off. So, alright, so I did beat, like, new Pokemon Snap, and probably something else. But the first major, like, big-time, with turn-based battles and everything, Pokemon game I ever beat was Pokemon Legends Arceus. And that led me to... That was the gateway drug to get me to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I love Pokemon Legends. Pokemon Legends Arceus is my favorite. What's it called? It is my favorite Pokemon game, like, hands down. I love that it's research focused. It's more focused on having your Pokemon perform specific abilities rather than it being about winning the battles. Even is more you can avoid battle altogether and throw the Pokeball and catch Pokemon that way, which is really neat. I like the boss fights. I know some people don't like it, but I dug it. I liked just the constant dodging. Honestly, I thought it was fun. I like games with a lot of movement, and it worked for me in that front. So I can't wait. I cannot wait for Pokemon Legends ZA, because I hope they keep the same concept. It seems like they might be leaning a bit more modern with this one. Based just on the previews. We'll see. I don't know. I am hopeful that they keep the same gameplay loop. That's all. That's all I really care about. Because I really enjoyed the first one because of the gameplay. So we'll see. And the fact they took a little bit more time to get this one done. Like, they did rush this one out. I appreciate that. Because Game Freak, as the developer, is extremely... They're willing to put out a broken product, essentially. Which, like no, Scarlet's a great game. Like I enjoy Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I played Scarlet, so that's the one I'm talking about mainly. Um, like it's still a good game. It's just like the fact that it is as poorly optimized as it is just so fucking wild. And I know it's Nintendo and the Switch, and but the problem is you can't really even blame the Switch, because there are games that run on the Switch so much better than Pokemon fucking Scarlet. Like it just was such a fucking fumble, but it didn't hurt them because the sales are through the fucking roof on it. And yet the I'm hopeful that even though all the precedent would make you think that they haven't learned any of their lessons, I'm hopeful that they have learned a lesson and that they are going to move in a direction of making an actual decent running Pokemon game. So we'll see. LMAO at Nubs and Jeb. Also, you said hands down my favorite, but it sounded like pants down. Pants down. Pokemon Legends. I will pull my pants down for you. I love you that much. I mean, that's just how I feel. Anyways, let's see. Another hyped game. Another game I'm super excited about, especially after this year for myself, is Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. So I had the pleasure of playing for the first time the original trilogy of Professor Layton games, and they fucking roll. They're hard as hell. Boy howdy, the puzzles that they throw at you are, and also sometimes extremely obtuse and not very nice to the player. But man, I really love those games. My favorite one was, which I think is a lot of people's favorite, is Unwound Future. I thought was just really well done. I think it was the best of the bunch. I haven't played any of the additional games beyond that original trilogy, but apparently I may not need to, because the early games, the other games I haven't played are like prequels, and this, I think New World of Steam takes place after, like directly after the third game, after Unwound Future, so that helps, I think, in terms of like chronological following stories. Honestly, the stories are so fucking batshit that I probably don't even give a shit. Like the plot twist that Professor Layton pulls is incredible. Like there is no game so fucking bold as Professor Layton to have the amount of plot twists as it does. I actually would like, Kelsey, I think that we should together play a Professor Layton game. Like one of the three. We would have to probably set it up as an emulator on your computer. But I feel like we have to have that experience together. Cause it's batshit. Like the gameplay is very nice because it's just puzzles. You get presented with a puzzle, like it's a question, and then you figure out the puzzle. It's really neat. It's neat. It's like there's like over hundreds of puzzles in the game, and it's a good time. But holy shit, the stories just the most. Oh my god, it's just the funniest shit. Like you can't write it. Like someone did. But you can't, like, no level-headed writer would write the shit that they do in these games. And it's so funny. Anyways, I can't wait for New World of Steam. I'm extremely excited for it. So. Ratatan. I'm actually going to put this in, like, I'm very curious about it. I'm going to put it as an I, because this is the spiritual successor to Patapon, right? Is that what it's called? And it's like a little rhythm. It's like a little rhythm battle type game, kind of like but like it's kind of like Pikmin 2, I think. I don't know. I have to play Patapon. I have it available on my PlayStation that I could play it. So I will check it out. It's interesting. I'm gonna right down Reika because that's an interesting indie game that is about. It's like I think it's a survival game, but your house is a bird, a very large bird. I just think that's neat. Rematch. You know what? I have some interest in Rematch. So this was a wild announcement at the Game Awards, and probably for some people who saw it that may not know Slow Clap, it wasn't like anything special. But Slow Clap's last game was Sifu, which was this incredible, just an incredible roguelike. Is roguelike even the right term for it? I don't know. But it basically, like, you were playing this aging individual. Like, you would age at like a ridiculous pace, or you. Oh, I'm sorry. When you die, you come back to life, but you like are older, and you keep dying and you keep getting older. And it was and basically you could keep being alive for the run until like you reach an old enough age where you do end up just dying. I think that's how it worked. But it was a combat heavy game. It was really cool. Like I don't personally would never play it myself, but I respect it. For some reason, it was nominated for Best Fighting Game in the Game Awards in the year that it came out, and people were like, "That's not what a fighting game is." But okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, that's the last game that they made. So now they're making a soccer game where you're controlling one person on the field and you have like I guess 10 people in a lobby, 5 on each team, playing soccer, and it looks like Rocket League because but it's regular soccer. Like there's not a lot of soccer games where you just play as one individual player. You're usually managing an entire team. So this is they're changing it where you're actually playing an individual player, which that's what Rocket League ended up doing. But instead of people, it was cars. Oh, I missed that you said Kels. I'm down for later. Yeah, like I think we would have a good time, but the puzzles can be difficult, but it's puzzles are I don't know. I like puzzles. Anyways, so Rematch, I find it to be incredibly interesting, and I don't know if I would personally play it, but I'm gonna say that I'm like kind of interested because if it ends up being good, I would try it. Like I kind of like the thing is. I think I would be so much more into sports games if they weren't made by like 2K and EA. Because they just microtransaction the fuck out of it, and they don't really like. I don't know. I just don't like how they make those games. Like, and I feel like I would have a better time with a game like Rematch. Although I'm not the biggest multiplayer fan, I would not want like my team to yell at me. So I don't know. Replaced. That game has been delayed so many fucking times. We'll see if it finally comes out. Oh my god, Shadow Labyrinth. The fucking... The crazy-ass platformer that is Pac-Man, but like gritty. That was the most wild trailer I mean, there was a lot of wild trailers yesterday. That was one of them. But I love that they're doing it. Like, I think that's insane. Like, that's such an insane concept that they're leaning into, and I respect them for it. Oh, Skate Story. That's a good one. Whoops. Very curious about Skate Story. I think I want to get hands-on with it. I hope they come out with a demo soon, because I like the vibes of it a lot. But I've never been the best at skating stuff, so we'll see. Slay the Spire 2, that's exciting. Not my jam, but still exciting. South of Midnight looks incredible, bro. Again, not the action guy, but I'm really interested in it. I hope it does well. Compulsion Games' first one, the game didn't really like pan out well, but this one looks so good. I love the leaning into like the Louisiana Bayou, and it's just man, so good. Very excited to see what they do with it. Splitgate 2, I'm sure people are very excited about. Untitled SpongeBob SquarePants game. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was so weird. Oh yeah, don't worry, Kels. I know you're messaging me privately and not on chat, but it's fine. You hear me, or you might not hear me. Actually, I'll respond to you in chat. No worries at all. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so that was wild. So like, yeah, like, I forget what was even the context or what they did, but there was like some sort of, I want to say sale or bundle or whatever that they did. They released a trailer for, I think it was like a bundle of like Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and Cosmic Shake, and it was a trailer showing that. But then in like the last like 10 seconds, they were like, and in 2025, and it was like something they kind of like teased something about like the Flying Dutchman, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so we might get a SpongeBob game this year, which is insane. We did get the Patrick Star game earlier this year, and I enjoyed it, but it was a bad game, but I enjoyed it. And I'm just a sucker for the world of SpongeBob, so like it kind of just worked for me. But man, I forgot that was a thing. So here's the thing: I'm not gonna write it down. Like that's the thing. Like whenever there's like an untitled this game, I kind of just don't want to put it on any list, because I feel like I'd rather just wait for them to formally announce what the game is. So I'm happy that we got the tease, but I'm not gonna put it on the list right now. It will certainly be high on my hype list whenever is announced. At least my hope would be that it's a 3D platformer in SpongeBob, and like that just has satisfied me plenty of times. So. Oh yeah, so the Talos Principle is coming out with a remake, and I think it has like a bunch of new shit in it, which that's pretty neat. I might write that down. I did not like the first Talos Principle. I felt like it had good puzzles, but it was so I can't think of a better term. It was so up its own ass. Pretentious, that's the word. It was so pretentious. And I feel like they toned down that a bunch in Talos Principle 2, and I ended up really liking Talos Principle 2. Like, that's a fantastic game. Still not a world that I like, but I like the puzzles a lot. I don't think I'm gonna end up getting this, but I'm at least interested in it because of the new content stuff, so, yeah. Temtem Swarm, I'll throw it in there because that's another franchise that people seem to like, supposedly. God, we're so close to going to the Steam wishlist. Okay, yeah, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. I am excited for this. Would I say I'm hyped for it? Not really, but I'm interested. I liked my time with Ultimate Chicken Horse, and so Ultimate Sheep Raccoon is a more racing focused one, and I think that's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be rage inducing. And therefore I don't know how much I'm gonna stick with it, but yeah, it's cool though. I love that they're making another one. Like I'm glad that they're making a sequel, and it is different. That they're going in a different direction with it, and I think it's gonna work out. I think people are gonna fucking love that game. So that's gonna be great. Unrail 2, forgot about that being released. That's neat. I did want to play the original Unrailed as well, but I don't know. It's just that it just never worked out. Seems too stressful too, you know. Okay. Virtual Fire game, but again, like the Untitled stuff, just like not super into that. Wheel World. I am hyped for this game. I hate that they fucking changed the name of it, because originally it was what's it called? It was Ghost Wheel, and because it had like you have like a skull, like a flame skull on the front of your oh yeah, Nidhogg. That's the team that made this. Yeah, no, so it was Ghost Wheel because it had like the skull that was like on fire and shit. But it's just like a bike riding game, and I kind of dig the idea of that. So, oh, but I'm excited for it. I'm hyped for it. I think it's gonna be very good. Windblown, I believe, is oh, it's already launched in early access. Okay. All right. All right. I think we're good. Holy crap. We're 2 hours in. We're done with the Wikipedia page. Alright, so I'm going to try to be very... I'm going to try not to write down too much. I think I'm going to write down things that are dated. And when it gets... anything that's labeled 2025. But if it says coming soon to be announced, I think I'm going to be very selective of what I do write down on this list. So... yeah, so we're going to start from the top again here. And so this is I'm going through my wish list now. So this is going to be games I actually can, like, for the most part, speak to. Worm Adventures Barrier 51 is like a 3D point-and-click adventure game, and it's bizarre. I enjoyed the bit that I played. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I don't know. I'm very curious about its overall outcome when it does come out. So it's coming out January 15th. January 17th, you have Asterism, which I think does have a demo out, but I haven't played it yet. And actually, let's I just want to click on it real quick. Yeah, immerse yourself in this cosmic symphony of Asterum, a playable indie rock concept album set in outer space. Follow astronaut Ruby as she embarks on an emotional journey of self-discovery through a stunning handcrafted solar system, unlocking it cuts off. Do I do this? No, it actually does just cut off. That's really silly. Okay. Sure. Yeah, but like, look at this, man. Like, the art's so fucking cool. I might actually... Do I put this on my hype list? I mean, I have to play the demo, so I'll maybe leave it at interest for now. That's coming out. That's coming out on this. I already have it written down. It's coming out on the 17th. Yeah, I'm gonna put an interest tag on it for now, but I might play the demo soon here just to kind of get an idea of if it's gonna end up being good. But it looks good. Jumping Jazz Cats. This game intrigues me because it's cats. It's a party game. It looks fun. But it is a Team 17 joint, so I can't say I'm like super excited for it. But I'm interested enough to have it wishlisted, so that should mean something at least. So I'm gonna put interest, general interest, and move from there. All right. Pretty much everything from here on out is gonna be either I or H because I'm actually this is by wish list. So, Travel on Pigeon. I'm curious about this one. I liked the little bit that I played of the demo. I thought was cute. It's like it's a rhythm game, rhythm dungeon game, but it's not like there's no like combat. It's like a navigation puzzle type exploration game. But like look at this guy. Look at this fucking dude right here. Look at him. Oh. He's gonna groove. Yeah, look at him. He's just going. Yeah, so it's just like this. It's like so you're basically it's kind of stealthy, like you're trying not to get caught by people. And I think you have to you just have to kind of navigate it smartly, and you have to navigate to the beat. I don't know, like what I played of it, I thought was like super cool, like an interesting take on that kind of game, and so I'm looking forward to it. Next, April 2nd, Detective Dotson. I'm skipping some things because we've already talked about them. They're already on the list thanks to the Wikipedia. Detective Dotson. This game looks delightful. It's a story-driven adventure game set in modern-day India. Meet colorful characters and explore the richly detailed streets of India to collect clues, complete evidence boards, and solve cases as Dotson, the reluctant detective who wants to be a Bollywood star. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the art style looks so, is so fucking charming. And I just feel like it's gonna be it's a mystery, it's a detective game, but it's gonna have these really silly, happy moments too. I'm such a sucker for that shit, man. So I'm excited for it. I haven't played the demo yet. That's another one where I want to play the demo before I really am like, okay, I'm sold. I'm hyped for this, but we'll get there. Okay, cool. Let's talk Bits and Bites. Bits and Bops rather. Bits and Bites is a restaurant. Where would I put Q1? Right, here you go. Bits and Bops. We're going to run here. Bits and Bops is... I was talking earlier how much I fucking love Rhythm Heaven. This is the indie Rhythm Heaven. This is Rhythm Heaven how I want it, how I need it, injected into my fucking veins. I've played all the Rhythm Heaven games, and I want so badly for this game to come out next year. It says Q1 2025, so there's hope that it's coming soon. I think it's going to be awesome. They even made... I missed the initial Kickstarter. I would have helped fund them if I knew about it. But they hit a funding goal, I think, where they are doing remixes. Which, if you don't know, Rhythm Heaven essentially, Rhythm Heaven is a bunch of mini games, like rhythm mini games. But then after you do like a section of mini games, usually at the end of that section there's a remix, and those remix includes a kick-ass song that you basically play snippets of the mini games that you played earlier, and it's like a spiritual experience. There's nothing more hype to me than a Rhythm Heaven type remix, and the fact that they're doing it for Bits and Bobs makes me so excited. And I think they're going to make something really, really special. Because of the demo that I played, I was just like, yeah, this is Rhythm Heaven, and I think it's Rhythm Heaven at its best. It makes me so excited. I think this is going to be a Game of the Year contender for me. Like, just easily. Like, I cannot wait. Next up, building relationships. This I discovered at I want to say was Day of the Devs, this past summer, and holy shit, I fall in love with games very quickly. This was a record. Like, I saw the bouncing talking house in the, like, slightly fuzzy pixelated, art style, and I fell in love. And it's, apparently, from the demo that I played, and I get the vibes from it, is part dating sim, but it's also part a short hike, and a short hike is like an all-timer for me, and I really dig this game. Like, the writing already, and like the stupid comedy bits, like, holy crap. Like, I cannot wait for this game. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so stupid, but so good. And I just love stupid shit. I love stupid video games. Give me more stupid video games. Give me, like, make me dumber. I love it. Like, it's the best. While Waiting. Another one I'm super hyped for. Yeah, like, this is it's literally a game where you just choose to wait. And there's, like, scenes that you can get achievements in if you decide to wait. And I think there is, like, a timer. Like, you're kind of forced to wait, but then how much can you do while you're waiting? And I don't know, I really like the concept, and I played the demo, and I thought it was really, really good. It's from the same team who made Moncage, I want to say, and that one was a little bit more grounded, a little bit more serious, with a really cool concept of, like, manipulating a cube in different scenes and stuff like that. Moncage ruled. Like, that was a fun game when I actually played it on stream. And so the VOD somewhere here. So this is the same team, and I think it's gonna end up hitting. Like, I think it's gonna be very, very good. So I'm very excited for this. Whisper of the House. Now, I'm trying to remember what this was. Let's see. This is an isometric 2D pixel placement game. In a cozy town, you'll provide housekeeping services, arrange furniture, create personalized homes. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like Unpacking, maybe with, like, a little bit of a deeper story. Yeah, because it says your actions may unexpectedly affect their lives. So, like, Unpacking did have, like, a narrative, but it was your one life. It was documenting someone's life growing up. And this seems like it's more like you're involved with people, and you're actually doing things for people, and what you do will affect their life. So that's kind of neat. Sometimes games that, like, the choices you make affect how the game plays out, like, those types of games tend to stress me out. But I'm open-minded to this one because I like the gameplay loop of Unpacking. So we'll see how it goes. Clover Pit. So one of my favorite games from this year was Yellow Taxi Ghost Room. So incredible game, but they already have another game coming, supposedly in the first quarter here, and it is a kind of a horror game. And it says one slot machine, a cramped cell, and a never-ending debt. So you just keep on playing slots endlessly. And I don't know if there's progression or anything like that, but I kind of dig the idea of that. Like, I guess you keep going until you lose money, then you fall through the pit. But I guess there's maybe certain checkpoints that you can hit along the way. Really dig the concept of this. Like, I think this could be really something special. In fact, I may even put it in my hyped, like, quarter. Like, I haven't really thought about it, but, like, I don't know, the idea of this sounds like it could be, like, really fun and interesting. So, yeah. Cool shit. Sushi Ben. So, this is weird, because they said this is both a VR game, but it may also not be a VR game. And so it says a slice of life adventure where you befriend the locals of a small town, complete various minigames in order to save a beloved local sushi bar from the machinations of dastardly land sharks. And it's just this super neat, like, art style, like, really kooky, fun game. Like, I dig it. The only problem is that the demo is VR only. And that sucks, because I would love to try the game, but apparently it's only for VR players for at least the time being. But when the game releases, apparently there will be a standard version. So, yeah. So it says note the non VR mode will be made available at launch. Currently, the demo is only for the VR version of the game. Play on a monitor, keyboard, mouse, or on a gamepad. Yeah, like, I don't know, something about this seems like it's going to be really interesting, and, like, again, love games that make me laugh and are silly and colorful and just a good old time. So, yeah, I'm very curious about this. Seclusa. This is a photography game where you take photos of animals in Africa. Yeah, I played the demo. It was neat. Don't know if I loved my time with it, like, because I'm just like, I don't know really like how deep it goes or anything like that, but yeah, I don't know. Lovish, another one that I'm curious about. It seems like a kind of like quick 2D platforming type game, with like very basic combat, but like it tells like it's like a really like a parody almost. It's very silly. It's an outrageous 8-bit action adventure game. Quest with Sir Solomon through a series of bite-sized rooms as he attempts to free Princess Tsuna, the woman he loves, from the Devil Lord's clutches. Yeah, and apparently the guy, he is just like just a dick. And it's really silly. Like, there's a really good comedy in the game. Like, I actually think I might put this in a hype situation as well, because like just something about it, just like the concept is really silly, and like there's interludes between each of the bite-sized levels that are really funny as well. So I don't know, I love a game that just makes me laugh. So Spreadsheet. Okay, so I do remember this game, and it says, okay, so it's a puzzle game that fuses intricate spreadsheet challenges with a comedic 90s financial vibe in a retro Windows 3.11 setting. The player takes on the role of the new office prodigy, solving absurd tasks and manipulating spread. It's so weird that it keeps, like, cutting off. That's so weird. I wonder if it's the plugin that I have. That's so weird. Anyways, But I love this stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of like Hypnospace Outlaw and Broken Roads. I didn't really love that Broken Roads. What's it fucking called? I'm gonna forget it. It was another one that kind of played with this kind of art style. I'm a sucker for it. I think it's cool, but like I don't know, like the fact that it's like a spreadsheet puzzle game, and I literally work in spreadsheets for my job constantly. I'm like, this seems neat. So I would love to try it before I get too excited for it. But yeah. No, don't autocorrect me here, because otherwise I'm not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm super tired, and I don't want to forget anything that I've talked about. So, actually, there's a capital C, capital C. There you go. All right, going down to Q2 here, we have Ollie Frog Toad Skater, which I've been waiting for. I liked what I played of the game. It's adorable, and it has really good vibes to it. We'll see if I can get good at it. But yeah, I really like my time. I should say I am actually hyped for it. So good stuff. Paperclay is coming out next year, looks like, and this is actually a really delightful looking 3D platformer. Don't think it's like the most amazing thing I've played, but like the art style is really cool, and like the little bit that I played, I'm like, huh, this could actually really do something fun here. So I'm excited for that. Water Me and You is a co-op adventure game, and I'm always a sucker for fun co-op adventure games. I'm gonna look more into this though, because it's been a bit. Yeah, like, so it has like a little, like, it's like 3D platformer almost, with like cute little characters. Like, really actually really like how this looks. Holy shit. I haven't seen this in a while, and I feel like it's gonna be very good. By the way, I should move this. This is Q4 2024. So, alright. Now we got a run of 2025 games, and we got a lot of stuff that we're still hyped as fuck about. Alright, here we go. Squeak Ross. Home. Squeak. Home. I love Picross. The bit of Picross that I have played on the Switch was really nice, and I love this because it's basically you solve the puzzles, and then you can get furniture. It creates the furniture from the puzzle, because if you don't know Picross, it's basically like you are creating the outline of a picture, but you do that through like a complex like number chart thing. It's hard for me to describe, but it's but once you do it, it creates a photo, and that in this game that photo turns into a piece of furniture, and you can put it in the house where you live as a mouse. And so it's it's part decoration, part puzzle, and I think that is fucking rad. So I really excited about it. It is from the same developers of The Spirit and the Mouse, a delightful adventure game that was one of my favorite games of 2022. So really neat, and I loved it. I think I'm gonna end up liking Squeak Ross even more. Pimbleton Park is another game I am super hyped for. This game is going to if you went into my brain and you're like, let's find a couple of genres of game that Chris really likes, and let's put it together into something. That's what Pimbleton Park is. It is a collectathon adventure pinball game. And it's Pimbleton Park is a small open world cozy adventure game where the world the whole world can transform into a giant pinball table. Help the villagers rescue lost spirits, craft new pinball elements, and take down the corporation bent on destroying the forest. I did not know this game existed this time last week. This was shown in this week's Wholesome Direct. By the way, this week's Wholesome Direct, fucking amazing. Like, there's even a game that was shown I haven't even touched on yet. I'm probably gonna have to scroll down deep into my wish list to even, like, surface it and bring it up. But I, like, holy shit, what a concept. I cannot wait for this game. Like, it's just like, yes, give this to me. I want it so bad. Blueprints, another game another game I am so excited for. It's like it's a exploration roguelike type thing. Roguelike's not the right word, but you have runs. Like, so you go on a run where you try to make it as far into a mansion as possible until you get stuck, and then ultimately get a game over, and then you start over the next day. But you keep on learning information about this mansion, and there's a mystery around the mansion. It's really cool. Like, I love it as the fact that it's like the gameplay is exploration. It's like figuring things out, figuring how to navigate rooms, learning the mysteries that are happening, finding new exits and things like that. Like, it's like, man, I can't wait. That's gonna be great. Time flies. I feel like we haven't seen this game in a long time, but I dig the concept of it. I forget who makes this game. I think this is the same dev that made maybe not. No, yeah, Kids and Plug and Play. Which are like just very bizarre abstract video game concepts. This one reminds me of, it's like Untitled Goose Game, but you're a fly, and basically you only have a very limited time to live, and you want to try to complete a task on your checklist before you die. And so the whole game is just about, like, waking up again, getting to the thing that you have to do and doing it before you pass, and then you wake up again, do it again, or do something different. Like, if you just try to complete the checklist, and I really like the concept. Let's see how it ends up transforming over time. Baby Steps looks great. Can't wait for silly platforming, or just walking around. Not the biggest fan of the, like, getting over it with Bad Foddy and stuff like that, but this seems like a game I'm going to enjoy because it's a walking simulator, and you're trying to walk around, and I think there's something about it that I think I'm going to end up digging, so can't wait for it. Townseek, it's like a trading simulator, has a lot of indie crossovers too, which I think is really fun. Yeah, can't wait for Townseek. That's like, it's sneaky, like a game that I think I enjoyed the gameplay of what I played of it was really nice in terms of the demo, and I think it's gonna end up hitting hard for me. So, Tori Saturn, I'm excited for this one. The Tori games aren't like my favorite in the world, but I do like how they feel. And yeah, I think they're gonna end up doing a really good job with this. My favorite game from this developer is Super Kiwi 64. That was a absolute delight. Like, just so much fun to play that. But Tori is much more leans into, like, Sonic-y level type design, and I'm not a big Sonic guy, so yeah. Okay, let's talk Hello again. This is such a silly ride that we've gone on with Hello Again. Hello Again is like a time loop game where you are trying to solve a mystery, and you have like one day to like spend time with people and solve puzzles and things like that. And then it's basically that, and then like the day restarts, and like you just have to like follow people's patterns and what they're doing, and then make certain breakthroughs here and there, and like figure out what you have to do, what you have to trigger. It's reminiscent of like Outer Wilds and stuff like that. But what's so wild to me is that this game had such a different vibe to it, because they were just like, they looked like Simpsons characters, because they were like yellow characters that were just vibing, nothing super interesting, like in terms of the art style, and they were just vibing in this top-down world. Based on even just the screenshot alone, like, first of all, huge improvement of the art. Like, I can just tell right now, like, the art looks so much better than what it used to. But I they decided to just make everyone a furry, or at least make make the characters animals. And let me tell you, makes it way more interesting, and I like that. I like that they decided to move into that direction, and yeah, like I just think that's like a very interesting shift, um, in concept, and so I'm excited to play that version of the game, because I played the Hello Again demo when it was just the yellow people, and then now it's like these really like kind of well designed, even like I kind of like these like cute little animal characters. And I'm very curious to see what has changed, maybe story wise, from that. So cool, just absolutely wild. Windstep Swept is a neat. You know what? I'm gonna stop here in terms of. I'm gonna maybe focus on just the hype games. Because I'm. It's getting so late. I want to go to bed. I did not sleep well last night. And I gotta sleep. I just gotta sleep. So I'm gonna start to wrap up here. But I'm gonna get to the point where I can at least start to rank these things. Well, I want to maybe just check out Far Away one more time. This was also at the Devolver, or the Day of the Devs earlier this week. It's just this really cool game of like linking up stars, trying to get high scores. I am a shooting star, a spark meant to shine and vanish in a blink. But I will travel. I will mark my trail. And okay, not all right. Here you go. Far Away is a single-player game where you control a shooting star, who is constantly in the process of vanishing, but keeping itself alive by harvesting energy from the stars. By creating constellations, players have to tame the smooth, flowing controls of swinging and slingshotting around stars while weaving an energy string and connecting it to the stars. It's a randomly generated core mode and 16 puzzle stages. Like, I really dig it. I might throw that into like the hype category for me, because that I really like the concept a lot. The fact that there's puzzle stages too, like, that makes me excited. Like, very cool stuff. Well, here's Mixtape, by the way. I didn't want to dig into this for a second. On their last night of high school, three friends embark on one more adventure together. Play through a mixtape of memories set to the soundtrack of a generation. Rad. Alright, oh, I love this song. This one is so silly. A Week in the Life of Asocial Giraffe is a point-and-click adventure game about a giraffe attempting to live his day-to-day life while not talking to anybody. I actually think I'm gonna put this in my hype. Like, who? Quail? Alright, new developer. But the bit that I've seen of it is just so silly. I'm gonna let that play while I write this down. Look at him sweating. I just love him. Like, he's so... Like, he's so perfectly designed. Like, his little fucking sweat, like, fucking sweater, or what's it fucking called, sweatshirt? A hoodie. I don't know why that took so long for me. It's because I'm fucking tired. Okay, anyways. Keep going. Yeah, like, all these games, I'm like, it's just more so slight interest. Okay, here we go. Here's another group of more games I'm looking forward to. Hobnobbers. I love the Turnip Boy franchise so much, and this is the same developers now making this multiplayer chaotic game where you are basically wreaking havoc in a mall and trying to steal everything. Pillage the mall with your friends, fight murderous pixies, and worship a divorcee lady goddess. It's rad as hell. Like, it's incredible, and like the bit that, like, look at these guys. Look at these, like, look at this. This is insane. This is the silliest shit. I absolutely love it so much. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait for this game. It's, like, it's up there for me of, like, I cannot wait. Goodnight Universe, another one that I can't wait for. Before Your Eyes is one of the greatest narrative experiences I ever had. And this looks like they kind of hit in a similar way. It has a really interesting concept and everything. You are Isaac, a 6-month-old baby developing mysterious psychic powers. What you want most is to be loved and accepted by your family, but a secretive tech corporation wants you for their own. And it is, once again, what they do with these games is that you use your eyes via your webcam to control the game. Before Your Eyes was insane for that. It didn't always work well, but with this second go, I think they're going to end up doing a good job. But holy shit, the story of Before Your Eyes has, to this day, emotionally affects me on a deep level. And I think Goodnight Universe is going to end up hitting in a similar way, and I cannot wait. They have earned my trusts completely. Tanuki Pond Summer. Oh my god, this is like the cutest fucking game I have ever seen. It has like the best art style. This is not the art style. This is just an anime trailer, but it is a postman. You are a postman Tanuki, and you run around an area and you're delivering mail, and that's what it is. It's the best. It's a 3D platformer, and you just make people happy, and you're riding around look at this game. Look at how good this fucking game looks. Like, holy shit, man. And I'm pretty sure this is like, like, at least according to Steam, this is like this team's like first fucking video game. It's wild. I can't wait. I can't wait to play it. Dream Settler, throw that one in there in terms of, like, I was just mentioning earlier, Hypnospace Outlaw, one of the greatest games I've ever played. Absolutely love that story, love playing the game, and I'm excited to see what they do here. Like, I trust them. They're gonna do a great job with, like, probably similar vibes of exploring the internet, but in, like, a very dystopian way. Can't wait. Goodlands. I played a little bit of the demo, and I'm pretty hyped for it. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be the deepest thing, but I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe the demo is just like it's still early on. But it's just this game where you're a bunch of dinosaurs, where you are a dinosaur working with other dinosaurs to dig up fossils. But it kind of reminds me, gives like the vibes of like a shore hike. Not so much with like a platforming point of view, but like it has that art style of a short hike, and you're exploring this area and helping people out, and it's like, it's good. Like, and it has Animal Crossing voice, like the voices when they speak. Like, it has like the Animalese voice that they got going on. Oh, so good. Spilled. Cannot wait for this. Incredible story about how this is a single dev who is working out of who lives on a boat, She is she's the only one that works on this game, but it is such a cool story, and then this whole game is about cleaning up the ocean as a boat. You play as the boat, and it's looks rad, and I cannot wait to spend time with it. Nom Nom, Cozy Forest Cafe. Again, like, these kinds of games typically may not sell me. Like, I'm not like the biggest like restaurant management game, but it's so approachable. I love the art. I love the characters. There's so much about it that I really, really love, and so I am hyped for this as well. Wooden Weather, basically a god game, but you are controlling, uh, you're helping out civilians, on what basically the stage, the levels in this game look like, old Thomas the Tank Engine characters and like little villages and stuff, and you are in as a god. You are trying to help people out, and you control weather and you control various other things, and it just seems really neat. It's like a fun little sandbox game. I cannot wait to play it. Frog on It, cute game. I can't even like, yeah, it's like an adventure game. It's kind of hard to describe what it is, but it has good vibes, and that's all that matters. So I am this also hyped for that. Hella, I'm hyped for. Basically rat 3D platformer looking game, like fucking awesome looking. Trip, played the demo for this, and it's trippy, and it's a little horror adjacent, but it's also very silly in a lot of ways as well. So cannot wait to play that. Locomoto, where you work on a train, that looks cool. Already have already talked about Everhood 2. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. I played this, and I loved it. It's very much like, it feels good to play. Like, it is a snowboarding game that's like time trials, and it feels so good to play. I really enjoyed the bit that I did play of it. Scuttle is like a weird rhythm game that you're like running around as a crab, and you're trying to hit rhythm points. It's so weird. I'm just gonna show it for a second, because this is the gameplay. You're just running around, but to the beat of the music. Or it's not even to the beat of the music. You're just collecting things. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe you are doing something to the. I think you are like hitting a button to the beat of the music. Regardless, the vibes are immaculate. So I'm hyped for it. All right, I think I'm gonna push forward here. You know what, this Bombas thing looks pretty cool. I might add this to my hype list here. Relive your childhood and turn every crosswalk, curve, and puddle into an epic adventure with this innovative urban walking simulator. And so basically, yeah, like, you're just trying to like navigate the world with like these 2 feet type thing, and it's just like, and it's a sandbox game. I fucking love it, dude. I can't wait. This is good. Snack-kun, I want to be hyped for, but the developer said, like, they put this in a showcase, and then a year later, the developer was just like, I actually haven't worked on this game in the last year, and I ended up really saying, like talked about burnout, and like, I have a deep message about, like, just, like he regretted putting it in a showcase in the first place. And I felt bad. I felt really bad, but like I'm gonna keep it on my wish list, because I'm gonna hope that someday when he gets back to it, it ends up like he ends up putting time into it, and it comes out. But I'm not expecting it anytime soon, so I'm not like gonna get too excited for it. Not, at least not yet, anyway. Yeah, I think the rest of these I'm gonna skip down now. Well, listen, I'm trying to see if anything else. Oh, Wheel World. We did, but I think we did have on the hype list anyway. That's fine. Croak looks good. I also saw a trailer for Webbing Journey today, and I was like, oh, this game is not actually what I expected, and I'm kind of into it. I don't know if I would say I'm hyped for it, though, just because the demo was not, like, I didn't love it. But that, they released a new demo, though. I played the old demo and didn't love it, but they released a new one that they take place in the kitchen, and you're trying to do checklist stuff, and that's intriguing to me. So, I'm gonna keep an eye out for it. Croak. Yeah, Croak looks good. But it's another one where I'm like, oh, I may need to play a demo before I get like super hyped for it or anything like that. But the art style is rad as hell, and yeah, I'm sure the platforming elements are gonna be very good as well. I will say, I've been seeing recent like I saw a recent trailer for Akim, and it that just seems like it's gonna be a silly good time. It's another one that I think is inspired by like Bollywood, like Bollywood. It's like Bollywood style like dancing battles, and it's like I'm kind of hyped for it. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Ori Buck 2 in the Anytime Elevator. I am actually kind of excited / curious about this, but the bit that I played wasn't like interesting enough for me to be like, oh, I'm hyped out of my mind for it, but actually, before we do this last little bit here, I'm gonna put PBJ the Musical. This was a game that was shown during Day of the Devs, and I'm absolutely hyped out of my mind for it. It's bizarre. Go check it out. But it's not on Steam. It's not on anywhere. Like, it's not on any platforms to wishlist yet. People, there's some places that are saying like it's coming to phones, maybe exclusively at first, so maybe that's why. But then there's other places that are saying, oh, it's coming to PC. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll keep it on. I'm gonna keep it on my radar though, because I really dug what they're going for there. Okay, here we go. The biggest announcement that I've like outside of Astrobot, probably one of my favorite announcements that to happen this year is Tome 2. Tome is one of my favorite games of all time. Is this a delightful photography game where you go around helping people and like just to help them. You're like basically solving puzzles. They're like you get prompts, and like then you have to go find a place to take a photo that like fits that prompt. It's super cozy, super delightful, great soundtrack, great art style, great vibes. Ending like is the reward that you get at the end is so nice, and I don't know how they're gonna pull off a sequel. Like I don't know what they can do in terms of from a story point of view, but holy crap, I love Tome, and I cannot believe we're getting a sequel. And I got so excited when I saw that was the best close for me of outside of Astrobot was like the best moment ever for me in terms of a showcase reveal. But Tome 2 is up there for me as well. And Astrobot came out, had such a quick turnaround from when that was revealed to when it came out. Like, it is crazy that, like, March and April this year, I did not know Astrobot was in the works. And then, all of a sudden, we're here, and it's one game of the year, and it's my personal game of the year. Like, it's just wild. It's wild. Time is wild. Sword of the Sea. Giant Squid made this, and it's the same team that made Abzu and the Pathless. They very much focus on like exploration games with puzzle elements, and I am so excited for this one because it looks like they're leaning into like surfing a bit, which is cool. Like you're sword surfing on the sands. It seems like, and it's just like it has just the coolest vibes to it. I can't wait for it. To a T. I am so excited for this one. This is from the creator of Kiyata Takahashi, who is the creator of Katamari. I've also played Watam, which is made by him as well. He has just such a playful vibe to him, like to his games. And I cannot wait to experience this one. The trailer for this one made me laugh so hard because it's like it's so Katamari. It's just so like, or not quite as weird as Katamari, but it just has like the good happy vibes that come along with like that kind of game. And I just cannot wait. Human Fall Flat, I'm pretty sure is not coming out this year, and so I might not even put it. I think I'm gonna write it down for now as to like ranking things I'm excited about, but I don't think it's gonna be on like my old like it's not coming out in 2025. I'm pretty sure it's late 2026. All right, we have a lot of more games to write down here, so I'm gonna try to speed through it though. Buy me some soup. The bit that I played of this point and click game was hilarious and amazing. Fishbowl made me cry in the demo, and I'm down for it. The concept rules. Pocket Wheels is a car. It's a 3D platformer where you play as a car. It's made for me. Belly Bust Up. It's a 3D platformer that is a musical. It's made for me. I Am a Caterpillar. Not quite a platformer, but like kind of like an exploration game where you are a caterpillar, and it looks incredible, and I cannot wait to play the demo of it at some point soon. I hope it comes soon. I hope the demo comes soon. God damn, I want to play as that fucking caterpillar. Bubblegum Galaxy. Kind of a strategy puzzle game, but like with office culture. But like office culture that's like it's fun to interact with the characters and stuff. And I really dug what I played of the demo, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing this. Pura Fauna, handcrafted paper made video game about this little fire dude where you explore and shit. Like I can't wait for it. Tiny Tires, pretty much it's self-explanatory. Your tiny cars racing around. A Cup of Claw. It's a claw machine roguelike. Into it. Garbage Country. You are I think you just drive around a like trash-filled world. Henry Halfhead. You are a half-head that does tasks, and it's silly. Screenbound. You are playing a 2D platformer and a 3D platformer simultaneously. Still don't love the way it looks, but it's wild to play it. The fact that it works the way it does is mind breaking, but in the best way. Escape Simulator 2. I still want to beat the first one before I get excited for that one. Happy Castaway, I feel like I need to see more of. Stunt Boost seems cool. Don't think I really need to be super invested in that right now. I think we're good. I think I can move on. Just doing a general check of anything else. Like there's definitely like games here that like I would be more hyped for if I had a better frame of reference of the game, or if I've played the demo. Like there are certain things. Oh, I did see Naughty Geese on the Wikipedia. That's funny. Oh, Undusted. Yeah, Undusted's actually. I played a bit of that. That seems like it's gonna kick ass. You just are dusting things, and it's satisfying. Kurosimo's it seems very silly and delightful as well. I'm very excited about that. And A Waddleful Life, same deal, but as you're a duck taking care of teddy ducks. It's great. Truckful. Oh yeah, this looks cool too. I'm gonna add it to like wanting to check it out. Lose Lagoon. I am curious about it. To say I'm hyped for it though, it might be too much of a stretch. Can I play the demo? I forget. Is that this one something that has a demo? It doesn't look like it. But it's a seaplane delivery game. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna throw it in there. My arms are longer now. I played this and I was laughing so hard. Just very silly concept for a game. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be very good. Oh yeah, Swang Song. So this is the from the same team that made Sizable, which is a kind of like a toy, like you're kind of playing with a toy. This kind of has similar vibes. So you solve puzzles in an old music box by creating your own music scales. Play your composition by cranking the box and watch it come to life while you get your little goose safely to its nest. Like, so cool. Like, such a fun concept for a game. I kind of want to just throw it in there as like a, yeah, like I'm excited for it. We're finally getting to the point of this where I'm now gonna be able to assemble a list. Fucking nearly 3 hours later. All right. Recur was pretty interesting from what I saw of it. It has that, so that Recur is the what I said earlier about Bionic Bay, that there was 2 games in the day of the devs that were 2 like time manipulating 2D platformers. Recur was the other one, and that one, this Recur seems more my vibe of it's not as dark. It seems like it's gonna be kind of silly, not super silly, but like you're gonna avoid near-death experiences because you have the ability to slow time. Like that seems neat. Feltopia I'm also kind of hyped for, because it's like they use real life felt to animate the game, and it just, I don't know, man, it's wild. It's super cool. Like, and it's like a old school like game of like I forget what these are called. It's just like a side scroller shooter type thing, like an auto scroller type thing. Which I've played enough of these type of game. Like, there's moments in Kirby games that have this kind of mechanic, so I'm used to it, and I definitely want to try it. Like, I'm excited for it. All right, how much longer do I have on this album? Man, I have a lot of songs left. All right, and this is all like early access. Oh, Hades 2. I'm gonna throw Hades 2 on this list as well, because I am excited for Hades 2. Again, typically not the action guy. I am very excited for Hades 2 because I enjoyed it. Hades 1 was a breakthrough for me, and I really enjoyed what I played, and so I'm gonna try Hades 2 as well. Okay. I feel good. I feel like I've reached a point where I can now do my last part of this, and now the most annoying thing what I have to do here is now add every single one of these games onto this list. You know what? I'm gonna do something. Leave. So I actually had a lot of these games already listed here. So I'm just kind of like I originally cleared the list because I was just like, all right, I'm gonna start fresh, but just to make life easier right now, I'm just gonna add the ones that are not on this list right now, and then we can go ahead and figure out sorting and things like that. Find. Okay. Split Fiction's already on there. Mainframe is already on there, I think. I think Mainframe's on there. Is it not? What do you mean it's not on there? Oh, no, it's right here. Okay. Mainframe's Water Stop. Bits and Bops. Brother Relationships. Clover Pit, I think, is not on this list, so let's do that. Hold on. Oh no, is the website gonna break on me right now? I'm trying to do this. Is Clover? Do they not have Clover Pit in the system? Hold on. Let's do Yellow Taxi. So they don't have Clover Pit in the system. That sucks. Man. That's a bummer. Alright, well, anyways. I'm really surprised. I really thought that we were gonna get some go somewhere with that, but guess not. Alright. Ollie Frog Toad Skater. It's just not on this list. We're gonna skip Beastie Ball. Big Walk's already on there. Deltarune's already on there. Desplatte's already on there. Everhood 2 is definitely on there. Death 6 is already on there. Za, Lane, Wheel World. I took Wheel World off earlier, I think. Okay. Squeakross, Pimpleton Park, Blueprints, Time Flies, Baby Steps, which I think Baby Steps is off this list as well. Town Seek, Far Away. Far Away's new. There you go. Oh yeah, A Week in the Life. Let's see. A Week in the Life. No, is it not gonna be on here? No. God damn it. A Week in the Life of a Asocial Giraffe is not on list, and that kills me. Okay, Bombus. vacuum. Screen down. Curiosmos. Wonderful Life. Truckful. Lose Lagoon. Swan Song. Perfect. Recur. There we go. Feltopia. Feltopia is definitely 2026 apparently, okay. And Hades 2. That's not Hades 2. Okay. There you go. Alright. Now it's time to sort these. I do think Deltarune and Tome 2 being at the top 2 here, I think just makes the most sense to me. Deltarune is just one of, like, Undertale's one of, you could make the argument Undertale is my favorite game of all time. Deltarune to me is top tier. Top of the list. I cannot wait for this next few chapters. Like, I just know it's going to be a wonderful experience. Tome 2, one of the most hyped things ever. I'm so excited for. I'm going to move Split Fiction up to number 3 just because it's going to be coming out soon, and I'm genuinely so excited for it. I'm also going to move Wanderstop up in a similar vein because it's coming out. I know it's coming out soon. Can't wait. I'll keep Bits and Bops, I think, where it is. For a moment, anyway. Actually, I could go full screen on this, I think. Yeah, so... Well, I'm just trying to look lower. I mean, I also want to... So I want to trim this down to 50. So right now it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So PB&J is the cutoff, so we have to get rid of 16 games. I mean, two that come to mind immediately that I'm like, maybe I should get rid of them is Human Fall Flat 2 and Feltopia. Just because if they are coming out in 2026, it's harder for me to be hyped for them because they're further out. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I really want to restrict this list to just being 2025 stuff, because I am looking forward to both of these games. I think I'm gonna remove Far Away, because I do like the concept of the game a lot, but I do think I don't know, I can see it just not quite hitting for me. I'm also gonna remove Baby Steps, because that might end up being more frustrating than exciting. I'm gonna remove Olifog Toad Skater just because it's been so long that I'm kind of like over it. But you know, I'm sure I'm excited for when it comes out. When it comes out, I'll be hyped for it. But like right now, I'm like a little over it. Don't need it. I'll remove Hades 2 as well. Like I'm excited for when that comes out, but to say it's like I'm thinking about that constantly, like it's my most hyped game, like I would not personally say that that's my thing. I'm gonna get rid of Garbage Country because I think I like the concept, but I really haven't seen anything more of it. I might do the same thing with PB&J, honestly, because at least until like we get a Steam page and shit, I feel like I don't want to get too hyped for that. So, okay, so where are we at now? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Got 10 more. Jesus Christ. Alright, so this is gonna get hard, I think. Trying to narrow to 50, see if we can feel good about it. I think we get rid of Swan Song. You know what? As much as I hyped it up earlier, I do think that Town Seek is fun in theory, but I don't know how long I would last with that game. In general, I'm excited for it, and I hope I end up getting hooked on it. But I'm also contemplating like whether or not that's if I truly would be okay. Akiem, I think I'm gonna get rid of just because I'm not the battle person, not really much big turn-based battle person, but everything, the vibes are immaculate for that game, so I think I'll end up liking it, but it's just maybe not in the top 50 for most anticipated for me. Let's see. Because I really like top of this list right now. I struggle to think I'm not going to be hyped for them. I think the cutoff for me might be in this area where like I think this area is the first time I'm like looking at things and like maybe not. I'm gonna get rid of Time Flies. I heard in previews that it may not be as good as it seems. It might be more frustrating than not. So. God, this list of games is insane. I'm gonna get rid of Truckful for the time being. Exciting concept for a game, but I'm hesitant about like the spookier aspects of the game. I don't know how great that's gonna end up being. I don't know. Now I think about it with Curiosmos. It's such a cute concept for a game, but I also feel like I don't quite understand what's going on with it. So I'm gonna get rid of that. 4 more. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of Feltopia because it is far off. Human Fall Flat 2 is gonna be harder for me to get rid of just because it is like Human Fall Flat 1 means a lot to me. But if Human Fall Flat 2 is far out, then I might not. I'm gonna get rid of Wheel World. I think as well. gotta say, looking at this list right now, and seeing that this is number 50, 51, and 52, I kind of don't hate what I see right now. Like, of what I've demoed, and just pure vibes of what I see and everything, like, I feel like Lose Lagoon, I feel like I could enjoy it if there's a heavy emphasis on the flying, but I think there's survival aspects too, so I'm not super convinced. Recur is the one that I want to do at least one more scan and be like, is this for sure the game I want to keep off this list for now, or is it a chance that we can do something? Like, is there a chance that we can keep this on the list in some degree, or should we just get rid of it? I'm leading just get rid of it. Although if I'm being... The ones that stand out to me, in terms of, like, I'm not sure if I want to, like, get rid of... Like, Frog Gonnet, Scuttle, and Henry Halfhead to me are, like, three that immediately stand out to me of, like, I like the concept of these games a lot. Some of them I've even demoed. But are they more exciting than Recur? And I feel like... Like, I would argue no. Like, I think Recur is very interesting. I almost feel like I might just give in to the fact that, like, Cuban Fall Flat 2 is probably not coming out this year. And because of that, allowing Recur to sneak in. And granted, some of these, probably a good handful of these games won't be coming out this year. But it's the idea that they might, at least the door is open, that keeps them on the list. But knowing I'm not gonna, for the next year, I'm not gonna be playing Human Fall Flat 2 anyway. Yeah. Let's get rid of it. I think I feel good about this list. I could order it further, but I'm too tired. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think just this top 10 is just insane. I almost... like, I think you could make a strong argument for a lot of these ones that are lower on the list. But this 10 is just wild. Like, the day that these games come out, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. It's gonna, I cannot wait. And these are coming so soon. Like, I know soon is, it's still like 3 months, but it's still super exciting. Like, I think it's still like, I can't wait to play both of these. and then of course, like I don't know, Tome 2 feels like it could absolutely be a 2026 game more than a 2025 game, but I don't care. I can't wait. Can't wait. And Deltarune, I think that we are going to get at least a chapter this year, which is just so exciting. So exciting. There you go. So you can find this list and many other lists from me on Backlogged. Friend me if you want. I have my Twitter handle here. I'm probably gonna get rid of that because I don't use Twitter anymore. Probably later this year, or not this year, like in 2 weeks. I'm gonna end up reorganizing this list and actually sorting it. It's not gonna be a long fucking process like this most anticipated games list was. So yeah. Alright. That's it for me. Thank you all. For anyone that was watching in the background and just hanging out, I appreciate you. I cannot wait to see what lies ahead for video games. I think it's gonna be a banger year. Like I have a much more niche look at the world and much more indie focused, but I think that there's a strong chance that like half of my current top 10 is going to end up like the fact that half of my top 10 could potentially come out this year is just so exciting. Like I cannot wait to get my hands on them. So I'm also gonna unlist this stream once I'm done. So it'll be on YouTube, but people will not be able to watch it. But I want to keep it for posterity. The whole idea of the stream and why I'm doing this is because I kind of want to come back to it when the next year arrives. Of course, if we make it to the end of 2025, obviously, hopefully we do. But I hope to make it to the end of 2025 and then look back at this and see how many of the games that I put on this list ended up making it. And that's what I'm super excited about. And also, like, how many of these games are even good. Because there's no guarantees about that. But I have faith in quite a few of them. So, alright. Thank you all. I will see you in a couple weeks for Game of the Year talks. Bye-bye.